Welcome back. Let's see. It is July 4th, Thursday. Usually a little bit after we do our thing, but we've had a busy week and a half and traveling and events and whatnot. So we're going to be doing a wide recap from June 24th to July 4th, and then previewing two things this weekend. So it's going to be quite busy. And of course, Jason actually attended two of the last events, and it'll be interesting to hear some of his weigh in on this, especially with the controversy from Friday with the crowd muting and whatnot. Very interested to hear you weigh in on that one today.
It was more than crowd muting.
Oh yeah, it was like as soon as everything started, like the crowd was chanting, I was like, nobody's going to be able to hear anything on TV.
Was it a lot of profanities or just stuff they didn't want on TV?
It was WWE's fault. You're at the Garden in New York, and you have someone from the Pacers come out during a match. Of course, there's going to be chants. There was like serious chants of "F you Pacers," like throughout that whole match.
Oh my gosh!
So I was just like, "Yep, no one's going to hear this match." So yeah, there was a lot of profanity going on, and it's the Boston Garden, you can expect it. So I can't wait for things to move.
It'll be well worth it, I think.
Yeah. Never mind not hearing it. This is all we saw about the whole time he was making his whole way down to the ring.
Yeah. It was ridiculous, and all because of a kid that was flipping off Nia Jax.
I heard about that. Yeah.
That makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Somebody's kid was raised right, apparently. We'll have to find the parent and send them a gift basket.
Pretty true.
Very accurate thing. Oh, so let's see. Let's see what all we have here today. We have, I don't know where I want to start. Why don't we do this? I'm just gonna we'll read the results and go straight through, and then we'll talk about highlights from there. So we'll start on June 24th with Raw, which was last Monday. So we saw Ludwig Kaiser defeat Braun Breaker via disqualification. Women's Money in the Bank qualifier saw Lyra Valkyria defeating Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. The men had a match. Chad Gable beating both of the Brawns, Strowman and Reed. The Unholy Union, or the Redheaded Witches, defeating Katana and Kaden. Karrion Kross defeating Kofi Kingston. And then title change. It's very surprising. World Tag Team Championship, Judgment Day, defeating the Awesome Truth. Did you see that coming? That was quite surprising to me.
I didn't see that coming either, at all.
With Finn's storyline coming up, how it looks like he's gonna get into a feud with Priest, it's just weird to put the tag titles on him. Like, don't get me wrong, it's time to take them off Miz and R-Truth, but I don't know how much I agree with putting it on him if he's gonna have a one-on-one feud with him going into SummerSlam. Going into SummerSlam possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, the qualifier. We'll talk about the qualifiers later on down the road. I mean, really, the main thing from that Raw was the VHS tape. I mean, is really the thing that I think is important to talk about. But we'll hold that until we get to the next Raw, because we can kind of talk about both of them. So following that, NXT on June 25th, number one contender tag team Turmoil. Chase U beat New Catch, OC, Legado del Fantasma, Malik Blade and Idris. Wesley defeated Joe Coffey. Good for him, finally. Heritage Cup, British Rounds. Tony D beating Nathan Frazier at round 6. Roxanne Perez over Carmen Petrovic. Tavion Heights over Damon Kemp. Sol Ruka, number one contender for the North American Championship, defeating Ariana Grace. In that moment, I knew Jason would be happy. And Sean Spears defeating Trick Williams. So, an interesting NXT as well.
Yeah,
I know.
kinda.
I knew when she won. I knew I could see you celebrating, so I knew that was going to be a good moment for you.
Yeah, Sol Ruka, I was happy to see win. I really was.
I think
Sean Spears defeating Trick Williams, kind of figured that was going to happen leading into Heatwave.
setting up, as we know, the 4-way match that we'll talk about shortly whenever we get into the previews as well.
It's weird how they set it up into that with each contestant getting their spot in it.
I know. They make some interesting choices, I think. So we'll hold off on that show, and then we'll talk about it when we get to the final one. So going into SmackDown, we'll just start here. Not a lot of matches, but the women's Money in the Bank qualifier, Tiffany Stratton over Jade Cargill and Candice LeRae. The men's match, LA Knight over Logan Paul and Santos Escobar. And the men's match, that wasn't men's. Why did I put men's? Sorry, Naomi and Indy and Blair. Actually, I pulled these from SmackDown Hotel. So SmackDown Hotel, go fix your stuff. Naomi over Indy Hartwell and Blair Davenport. So Jason, take us through the show. Tell us all about it.
I was surprised that literally on TV there's only 3 matches.
Mm-hmm.
They're really Jade Cargill, as much as I don't like her, she in person live, she got one of the biggest pops of the night next to Tiffy Stratton. So it was good to see, Tiffy Stratton I love. I'm glad she won. But Jade Cargill to me just was way over. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with her, even though, she botches a little too much. The arena when Candice LeRae came out, no one popped, no one really even moved at all. There was fans around me that you could tell don't go to events a lot or don't watch WWE a lot, that didn't even know who she was.
Sounds about right.
Really?
So if they want her to be in these kind of matches, these high profile matches for Money in the Bank, stuff like that, they need to start pushing her a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Start having her come out with Johnny Gargano. Stop pushing her as a heel, and
put her with her man.
Push her as in DIY. They're way over. Not only on TV and live, they're on social media now too. They have some of the best social media content on Instagram right now.
Really?
I don't know if you guys have followed it with Randy Orton, where every week now they're putting out a video with Tommaso Ciampa disguised as trying to disguise himself to hit an RKO out of nowhere on Randy, and every time they're Randy's on his phone, and when Tommaso Ciampa goes RKO out of nowhere, Randy moves, not even acknowledging that he's there, and he misses the RKO.
Well, who was it back in the day that was doing the glorious bombs? Oh,
I know what you're talking about, but I forgot.
It was Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah. Whenever they would show up and all of a sudden the glorious theme would just start playing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. That was Ciampa and Gargano back in 2016. Nice comeback.
But
so dark match. Were there dark matches?
There were at the beginning, obviously we had Speed.
Okay.
Speed was Xavier Woods match with Nathan Frazier, as you expected. It was all right. I haven't gotten to watch Speed live or on Twitter yet, so I don't know if they've shown both matches yet.
Let me see where we're at.
They haven't shown the championship match, just the Woods and Frazier match.
Woods and Frazier was the last one. Yep.
Okay, so because I know, so they last night's match that they showed was the Nathan Frazier match.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was today. I don't know, or yesterday.
No,
yesterday. So after that match, Xavier Woods got on the mic. I won't spoil the ending of the match, but he came out and was like, I've been in WWE for 11 years. I've never had a chance to hold singles gold, so I want to. He's like, I'm not waiting till next week. Andrade, get out here. We're going to have this match now, which they did. Amazing match. I wish they would have gone longer, because Speed championship matches are 5 minutes. I wish that one would have went longer, and when you guys get to see it, you're going to see why. Because those two in the ring together was really fun to watch. The crowd was really into it too. So I was happy to see the crowd live getting into speed, even though they don't advertise it that much.
Okay, I looked it up. I had to go see the spoiler. I don't care. We don't have to say it on here, but I was curious after hearing you say that.
Yeah. So I think they're, without giving out spoilers, I think they're going to try to push, because Xavier wants to push the speed title a little bit, I think. So I think they're going to, keep him in that category in the speed realm of WWE.
He would be the guy to do it.
Brackets.
He's super popular on YouTube.
Yeah.
With his gaming stuff.
Oh, I love watching his gaming stuff. Even lately, Bronson Reed, or not Bronson. Yeah, Bronson Reed's been on there too, but Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker's a gamer.
Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed did On, Up, Up, Down, Down. They did a competition with Ring Fit, where they were doing like the working out and stuff, and it was actually kind of funny. Braun Breaker is kind of a big gamer, so and you don't expect to see that kind of stuff.
I know, because he's kind of like eat, stomp, destroy, Call of Duty.
Yep. But yeah, I haven't been to a live televised event in a while. Like outside of obviously AEW, I've been to. I think the last televised WWE event I went to was War Games at the Boston Garden. So it's crazy to see, like, during commercials, matches die. And I don't like that at live events now, because you want to keep the crowd into it. But when we get to the beginning of Raw, when I talk about that, that was actually really good.
So maybe that's why they're not doing picture-in-picture then, because they don't want to show us what's going on in the ring in between those commercial breaks.
Exactly. Yep. I kind of got that gist when I was there. I was like, okay, this is kind of boring. Like, every once in a while, if the crowd was quiet enough, you could hear the beeps from production when they were going to commercial to alert like the wrestlers and stuff that they were going. So you could tell, like, when it got to the point where there were some people close to production, when they heard the beeps, they were getting up and going to the bathroom, going to get drinks, stuff like that. I was like, all right, it's commercial time.
Who had the biggest reaction between entrance between LA Knight and Logan Paul?
Oh, LA Knight, definitely. Biggest pop of the night, and I don't know if they showed it on TV, was when Cody Rhodes got Randy Orton the comfortable office chair. So, and that was because, like, Cody Rhodes was throwing chairs in the ring, and KO sat down in one of the folding chairs, and then he threw one in for Randy and then for himself, and then Randy wouldn't sit down, so Cody was like, yeah, you're getting old, so he threw in the comfy office chair, and everyone went nuts for that.
Did they play his entrance music when he came out at the end to wish Caleb Braxton good luck?
Cody?
Yeah.
Oh, he was already out there. He was? Okay. Yeah, he came out like right after because Jey Uso had a dark match too.
Okay.
At the end, it was the two dark matches at the end. The dark main events was the New Day versus what's those two guys? The ones that wear like half the shirts with the sleeves. Pretty deadly. Yep, it was, and then it was Finn Balor and Jey Uso in a New York street fight, which wasn't a street fight.
Why? What was wrong with it?
If street fights, you expect weapons. You expect them to, people to get involved. You expect, more of like a no disqualification match style thing, which they kind of did a little bit, but it was just like a regular match. They had a chair, or they had one table that came in, and I think they used the chair once.
That's crazy.
Okay, so we'll go over to Raw next. You can give us some deets on that one. With
the beginning of Raw was crazy.
Okay.
Was I got chills through that whole thing. I know Jey Uso's funny, but he was freaking hilarious.
So he just yeeting left and right.
Oh, with the yeeting, but then like when him and Chad Gable got into it, and obviously the Wyatt Six came out, Jey Uso crouched underneath the ring and stayed there the entire time. And then when you could tell they went to commercial, the lights came back on after the Wyatt Six stuff, and he just comes out. He's like, "They gone? We good?" Just the way he was coming out, just came out after him from under the ring. Like he peeked out. You could see him like looking around to see if anyone was there. It was freaking hilarious. But the Wyatt Six got the biggest pop of the night.
Oh, it was. People are playing. I saw people on Twitter playing it off like they're getting no reaction. So that's interesting to hear that.
And I saw that too. And that's what I wanted to mention too, is like they had a huge reaction once the lights went off. Like next to Jey Uso coming through the crowd, the Wyatt Six had close to that kind of reaction. So it was.
How was it when they played the tape there? Are people loud during the tape?
Rey Mysterio.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, if enough people care enough to turn their flashlight on and put it up, they should garner a good reaction from it.
Yeah. Oh, people went nuts once you heard that sound they make when the lights go out.
Yeah.
And even before that, the one note started, people were like already like, holy shit, let's go. This is it. You know, getting ready for it.
Okay. So, see, we started with Xavier Woods defeating Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross got no reaction.
As usual. Liv Mysterio defeating Zelina Vega for the women's title. Zoe Stark qualifying for Money in the Bank over Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile. That was sad for me. Rey Mysterio defeating his terrible son Dominic Mysterio, who I guess they're still fighting for some reason. And lastly, Drew qualifying over Sheamus and Dragunov, which was surprising because I felt like that was Dragunov's moment, or Sheamus for anything, because Sheamus could qualify for and take the belt that he needs that he hasn't got yet. So very interesting booking, I think.
I think they're doing it to kill the briefcase because they can have Drew get it. There's so many storylines going on in the men's division where we don't really need a briefcase this year, and it'll just hinder it down the road. So Drew says he's going to cash in night of Money in the Bank. He cashes in. CM Punk lets him win that briefcase because that briefcase means nothing if you fail. And then he comes out and he costs him the briefcase, and we can just kill the briefcase there. The women will still have theirs on their side, but we don't need two briefcases right now. So I like the way they're going with this.
See, I'm on the opposite side. They could go with Drew winning the Money in the Bank because we know he's going to catch it in because at the end of Raw, he said, I'm leaving Money in the Bank the champion. He could win. He could win the championship and then lead into CM Punk and Drew for the title to make that match mean more because they've been building up to it for so long.
But what about Gunther? Because he still has the SummerSlam the SummerSlam match from King of the Ring.
They could end up making it a triple threat,
that's true.
Which happens all the time now. So, no surprise there.
Or he wins it and then CM Punk costs him the title. But there are also at SummerSlam, but there are also rumors AJ comes back and costs Drew at Money in the Bank. Because AJ's name's been brought up, and there are people wondering if they brought her name up because of that. They're teasing it.
I don't know what the motivation would be for him. I don't know.
Well, he stole the bracelet with her name and Larry's name on it. So, and he wore it in family photos the other day.
Oh, I heard AJ. I was like, wait, what?
He even gave it to the Michael Cole during his match in the triple threat too.
Yep. So AJ Lee, not AJ Styles.
I was like, wait a minute. We went down a different road here. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Okay, I'm back. You caught me.
All right,
again.
full circle. Let's go.
We're good. We can resume now.
That would set up a good match, though.
CM Punk's wife against Drew McIntyre. That will put butts in seats.
I'm talking about AJ Styles, but that would be a good match. I'll sign me up.
Okay, so we're through the two Raws now. Now we can move on to the next thing. This is what I've really been wanting to talk about. Okay. Can you tell? A lot of people couldn't tell when I posted this the other day, but that shot of where they're doing the interview with Bo Dallas, Wyatt, and Uncle Howdy, that is the Firefly Funhouse. A lot of people didn't know that. I was surprised because it's like right there in the darkness.
And during this promo, when they're going back and forth, and Bray, and I don't think we're going to be calling him Bo Dallas. I think they're going to go with Taylor for this, because they did the same thing when Bray Wyatt came back and he said, I'm Wyndham. I've never been in front of you as myself. I think they're going to do the same thing with Taylor. But when they were going back and forth and Taylor was talking and then Uncle Howdy was finishing and they were talking over each other, basically showing that they're the same person, the door in the background started lighting up.
Yeah, the glowing behind that Firefly entry door.
Yes, it started lighting up. And after that, they pretty much showed Bo Dallas on one side and then fading away, and then Uncle Howdy appearing as by himself. So I wondering what they're doing with that. What that's foreshadowing.
I saw something today. I can't remember if it was on Squared Circle or where it was, but I was searching for a picture and I saw the the end of that where Bo goes, there you are, or Uncle Howdy says, there you are, or whatever. That's a callback to when Bo Dallas was walking, doing his Bo Leave thing, and he came across the other B team guy. What's his name? That slips on mine.
Was it Curtis Axel?
Curtis Axel, yeah. And he said it then. He said, oh, there you are. But it's very much the same thing as what they're doing now. So I thought that was a really cool throwback.
I wonder if they're leading in with this whole thing with Uncle and Taylor at the same time, and that lighting of the door and them forming into one. I wonder if they're going to do like they did with Bray, where when they come out to the ring, they're going to have their regular persona. They're going to be Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy. And then when like they're trying to intimidate people or attack people, they're going to be their characters in the White Six.
Yeah. No.
What do you think overall of how they're doing these interviews? Do you think it's a good way to present this new character and kind of? I mean, I really liked it. The main thing that stood out to me last week was them saying, "Aren't you trying to capitalize on your brother's life?" No, the part that got me first was when he said, "How did it feel when your brother died?" That was intense. But the part after that was, don't you feel like you're kind of ripping off your brother's legacy, which is like what all the marks on Twitter have been saying. So I like that they're addressing this stuff head on, because I think it kind of clarifies what they're doing with the character, but also that it's something different. I like how they're presenting it.
They're doing something that they didn't do, and I think they wanted to do before Bray passed, was give them a little bit of character development. And we're seeing why Taylor's doing this now. We're seeing why Uncle Howdy's there, where he comes from, and like that whole thing. And I wanted to, comment on so many posts about them stealing Bray's character and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Bray wrote this character or Uncle Howdy for his brother.
Yeah, so this was very much a Bray character, not something his brother is doing to rip off. He made this character for his brother.
Right. And WWE feels like that they need to finish that, because the fans want to see where they were going to go with it. And with Bray writing as much as he did into the future with the characters, they're not stealing it. They're giving that story to the fans that Bray wanted us to have.
There's an example. Johnny Cash just put out a new album. Johnny Cash has also been dead for like 20 years, but it's songs that he started when he was alive that he didn't finish. And then his son came along, fleshed them out, and brought them to life. It's very much that. The bones for this story were there. It's just bringing it to life.
Yep.
And then with that too, even with artists like Dr. Dre, he has a catalog, I believe, of 800 songs that he just keeps in his studio that he said to never release most of them. We'll probably get them after he passes away, but until then, we ain't gonna get them. And I'm sure plenty of artists have that, so they can.
Wu-Tang Clan, yeah.
It happened with Tupac. They released like 8 albums after he died.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's security for the family too, so they can keep making money off of it in the future. So they set it up right. It's sort of like an insurance
David Bowie,
fund almost.
I mean, the list goes on and on. Some artists' best best work is after they die. So it's I mean, it's awesome.
I do like what WWE's doing for Bray's family, though, because after he passed, they said that any Bray merchandise that sells going forward, his family's going to get 100% of the proceeds.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they keep releasing, like they just released a brand new Bray Wyatt shirt that sold out online. So they're, keeping their end and taking care of Bray's family that way.
What did it look like? I didn't see it.
I think I can't remember what it looks like, but I saw it online. Because they released a few new shirts, because when his documentary came out, they released a shirt with like the graphic from his documentary.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, we've talked about this before, and, a lot of people were kind of hesitant about this. And, the QR code thing, yeah, it was kind of cheesy. And, it built some mystique. But I think from the debut, the way it was handled to the way these are playing out, I think they're doing it right. I mean, and then not to mention, the figures showing up, and we haven't even got to why they're targeting Chad Gable, and just it's like an onion, man. There's just so many layers to what's going on right now with this story.
Yeah.
First thing I thought when I saw this too, and I know I said it to you guys in the chat, I thought they were going to throw a wrench in and have Uncle Howdy be someone other than Taylor, like how we had the previously, like a year and a half ago. We were wondering who it was behind there before we knew it was him. But yeah. I think that the second video took any question of that out whatsoever.
Yeah, I think so. It's crazy that like a lot of people. People like us have been watching for a while. Like, it's crazy seeing the evolution from Bo Leave to this. Like, a lot of people, if you're new and just watching now, go back and watch some early Bo Dallas stuff, and you will be amazed. Like, this is cinema, what he's doing right now. It shows so many different depths of his character work that are beyond impressive.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people that are like, Bo Dallas is just a failed wrestler by biting off his brother's success.
Yeah.
Bo Dallas, or Taylor, or whatever you want to call him, he wasn't a failed wrestler. Vince gave him failed gimmicks.
Yes.
If they would have given him the right gimmicks, or even let him join Wyatt when they had the Wyatt family, you would have seen a whole different side of Taylor. He would have been a different character. He would not have been like a failure. In the ring, he's amazing.
And this isn't something that he's just now picking up. Like, if you watch the documentary, he was talking about how close he was with his brother, but like, he's always been in that spooky stuff. Like, they were talking about this show they were developing, like with haunted stuff and stuff like that. So,
the reality show. But then even like in the documentary, his mother, they talk about how like going to bed at night, she was like, normal kids that want bedtime stories. They were like, they would create their own characters based on her Stephen King books and bring them to her and find, like, to show them the characters they created, and also find out what the updates were in her Stephen King and her horror books.
Yeah.
So they that's something they've been into as a family forever.
Yeah, people shouldn't read into what wrestlers have done previously. Look at Cody Rhodes. The difference, like, it's night and day. It shows what a different administration, a different booker can do for you. You go out and reform your character in another brand and bring it back. Though everything's an open book for everyone going forward. Yeah.
We saw his success a little bit with the B team when they were tag team champions, and the crowd was actually, when they would come out, you'd get that pop from the crowd. So, he was almost there. Vince killed his characters every time, though.
I'm curious, kind of what JoJo thinks about all this, because from what I've been seeing, I know she's sent out some ominous tweets about it. And she did an interview recently with some news station in Florida, but I don't think she talked about it too much. She's kind of just talked about like the media in general. So I'm kind of curious how that's going and what her thoughts are on this.
I wonder if it's a work too. Maybe they'll play her in the storyline down the road. Maybe she is unhappy with it and goes against it or something like that.
Because she wasn't she a wrestler? I think I remember watching her on Total Divas. Yeah.
Yep, she was.
It's been a while. I totally forgot all about that. It was during the Eva Marie era, I think.
I would like to see them bring her back a little bit and get involved with this.
The last thing I remember with her was they brought her back and she had that wardrobe malfunction. I think that was like the last thing I remember with her. I don't think she was doing much.
No, she really wasn't.
So to spill onward, NXT this week, a street fight with Jada.
That's a
Parker
real street fight.
and that was a real street fight. New Catch over Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, Izzy Dame over Brindley Reese, Aura over Miles Bourne, the new Wendy Chu over Carly Bright, and Jasmine Nix over Carmen Petrovic. A solid show, I think.
I'm worried about Mitchin after that dive out the ring. Whoo, buddy.
On the chair.
Spot. Yeah.
That was a 5-star match. That was a phenomenal street fight. I thought that was so underrated. I thought for an opening match, just open a go home show for an NXT that they put that on there. That was awesome.
I know go home shows are so hit and miss. You never know.
Yeah, I mean Raw on Monday was kind of blah.
Yeah,
as far as a go home show. So.
Yeah, but I mean, all of this is kind of building up, to where we're going. So now we can have some fun. Heatwave, let's do Money in the Bank first. I wish they would have switched these though. I don't know why they're doing Money in the Bank Saturday and Heatwave Sunday.
I agree 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not crazy
because they'll get more viewers on Saturday because people have work on Monday morning.
Right. Okay.
So
okay.
I think
So
that's
I guess
why they're doing it.
We'll start with Money in the Bank. World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest over Seth Franklin Rollins. Undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes teaming up with RKO against the Bloodline. IC title, Sami Zayn puts it on the line against Braun Breaker. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match and the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I am very excited about these rosters. Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. And then over on the women's side, Io, Chelsea, Lyra, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. So start at the top. Damian and Seth. Is he dropping it?
Oh.
I'm torn with that new stipulation that they came out on Monday with.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if they're going to have Damian leave yet, but I think it would be a way for Damian and Finn to start their feud.
Another take on this, I guess, would be look at the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Do you see someone winning that match and beating the one who wins that championship match?
Only person I could see legitimately winning and WWE and Triple H thinking they could hold the title even for a short time is Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll get into
Okay.
I'll get into my thing with the Money in the Bank men's ladder match when we get to it. But personally, I think in this match we're gonna see a cash in made into a triple threat right here with Drew McIntyre. Punk's gonna cost him, maybe even AJ Lee, like you suggested, Jason,
Mm-hmm.
and then it'll be a weird thing where Punk actually gets Seth the title. But maybe the other way they could go on this too is where he costs Seth and Drew and Damian retains to maybe set up a triple threat scene. All three of them have problems, but I think you're going to see Finn interfere and help cost Damian Priest. That'll start that feud to get that match at SummerSlam. Then we'll have Seth and Gunther, and I predict Seth to be a transitional champion to Gunther, seeing we just had a huge run of him with the World Heavyweight Championship already.
See, I don't think Priest is going to lose because I think Seth is at the stage in his career where he doesn't need a title anymore. So I think he's proved a lot of what he needs to prove. I don't think there's any necessity in him winning it. I mean, I see Priest winning it and moving forward. I really wanted to see Dragunov in the Money in the Bank match because I wanted him to be the one that defends the title against Gunther, but unfortunately that didn't work out that way. But I don't see him Priest losing it. I don't know. WWE likes him a lot for some reason. I don't know. I don't get it, but
I agree with you 100% that Seth doesn't need a belt. I think they're just going to use it to beef the SummerSlam card up because I think people would rather see Gunther versus Seth Rollins than Gunther versus Damian.
It'd be a
Priest.
better match by a long shot.
Damian to me, and I don't know how you guys feel about it. Like, he's good in the ring. I like watching his matches. Promo ability in the ring, live on the mic in front of the audience, is not there.
Nope. Yeah, not there.
But go back and watch his promos backstage.
Yeah.
It's like a completely different person. His promos backstage, like when he was talking to Dom before they went into the clubhouse the other night, and then when they went in, when he was talking to Finn, backstage, his promos are fucking ridiculous. Watch my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but in the ring, they're like he kisses ass for like 10 minutes when he's like, "This is between me and Seth and this, that, and the other." So
yeah. He doesn't need to. You're a heel, dude. Why are you kissing ass? Like, you don't need to do that.
The thing we got to remember is, too, with those backstage promos, those might not be live, and he might be taking 5 different takes on them to get that money shot for it.
Yeah.
Possible.
In the ring, he just needs to show more emotion. But, yeah, I don't think Seth needs the title, like you said, but I don't know how invested I am in Damian being the champion anymore, unless they're gonna lead into Damian and Finn feuding, Finn coming out during this match and not costing Damian the title, but pissing him off to the point where it leads to Damian and Finn at SummerSlam. Well, wait a second. Too many matches I'm thinking about at SummerSlam for the title. Because I keep forgetting Gunther has that match.
He's got his shot, yeah.
Yeah.
And see, this is a good thing of why we saw that, because you guys watched the thing on YouTube last night, Behind the Curtain, correct?
Yeah.
So what I've noticed with Triple H is what he does opposed to Vince McMahon, because Vince did not do this at all his whole career, not even just towards the end, because I think Vince was a good booker up until the last 10 years of his career, but not after that. But Triple H always leaves multiple paths for them to go, and I think they do some on-the-fly booking, but it's so well mapped out that they can pivot on the night of and still have it make 100% more sense. Yeah. 100% sense, I'm sorry.
A lot of people give Vince Russo credit for the Attitude Era, but I mean, Vince McMahon, I think a lot of that was him, and I think a lot of that was him, as numerous people have said, keeping Vince Russo in check for his stupid ideas whenever he had them. I'm sure Vince Russo had some great ideas, and a lot of them we saw on TV, but I think Vince, should get a lot of credit for the Attitude Era, but definitely not the same guy booking before he left the company.
I honestly think Attitude Era was a little bit of Vince. And I watched the Paul Heyman documentary the other night from 2014.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think Paul Heyman had a little bit to do with the Attitude Era too, but that's a longer podcast.
Yeah.
But look at how close he is even to this day. When just to open up that thing last night on the private jet, who's the one guy you recognize in there? Paul Heyman. He's right there with Triple H. So I'm sure he's been making those right hand man decisions for a long time. It's not just Bruce Pritchard.
And a good, interesting segue into the next thing. The Bloodline match. I mean, there's so many layers with this one as well. With Paul Heyman and what's going on there. I mean, I think that match will, storyline wise, be a good one, because I feel like there will be something screwy to it. Like, I don't know if it's Roman returning or something will happen, something exciting, or Jimmy. I mean, anything can happen.
I think we'll now. Do we know what the main event is? Is it the triple threat or the 6-man tag?
No, there's not really any rumors or anything about it yet. Yeah,
I'm wondering if they're going to have that be the main event, because I think we might see Roman. I don't think we'll see Roman. I don't think we'll see The Rock. I think we'll see the start of Roman's side of the bloodline. We'll see Zilla or Hikuleo come out, and help Cody, Randy, and Kevin.
Yeah, there's really no rumors out about the match order or anything yet. But if that's the main event, then yes, there will be some development in the story.
Now, do we don't know who the bloodline is for the match yet?
It's probably whoever can get into Canada, seeing they both.
I was just going to
records.
say, because Jacob, can he get into Canada?
See, I didn't think he was convicted, but they said he's had trouble getting into countries, so he must have taken a continued without a finding or something. We all know Tongaloa couldn't go to King and Queen of the Ring, so unless they have something pre-approved from the Canadian government already, neither one of these guys are getting into the country.
Yeah.
On the WWE website, the preview graphic for that match has Cody and RKO, but it also has all 4 members of the bloodline. So I don't think they even know who it's going to be yet.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to play a game of who they can get across the border.
Yeah. We're going to play a little game. We're going to go. We're going to see who customs approves to get in.
One thing that scares me a lot about this match, though, is I'm afraid we might be doing copy and paste from last year, because I know Meltzer said that the match for SummerSlam, I don't really trust whatever he says, but he says it's supposed to be Cody and Solo. And last year we had Jay pin Roman in a tag match to get the main event. I really hope we aren't seeing a copy and paste where we have Solo pin Cody to get our SummerSlam WWE title match. I'm not about that. I don't want to see it.
I don't either. I have zero interest in anything to do with Solo. Just no interest at all.
They need to reconvene and push Jacob
as the leader,
the head of that side.
Yep.
One thing too is we got to think what's Randy Orton gonna do for SummerSlam too, because we could see him maybe hit an RKO on Cody to set up that feud right there, or even they could lose the match and he's pissed comes the next SmackDown and he turns on Kevin Owens for that match too.
It would be a nice turn at the end of the match, like they lose and Randy's pissed off and just RKOs everybody. That'd be beautiful. That would be beautiful.
Now, when do you guys think we're going to see the fallout from what Solo and them did to Paul?
I bet Roman comes back. That's something to lure Roman back. You want him to return, mess with his wise man. That's how you get him back.
But does that get CM Punk involved in the bloodline story too with his relationship with Paul?
It could.
Do we get Brock Lesnar back?
He has to be cleared by legal, I've heard online.
Yeah, I've heard that too. But you never know. There's been a lot of things that are getting kept hush hush lately that we don't know about.
I think it's gonna, what I've been saying the past few weeks, we are eventually gonna get Cody and Roman on the same team, whether it be War Games, WrestleMania, and especially last night where they put that in the YouTube video when they had the WrestleMania kickoff show in Vegas, when he pointed said, "I choose you, Roman." I think that's foreshadowing on the future that he's gonna choose him to be his partner in something.
Yeah.
So moving on from that one, Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. I want Braun to win there. I really do. I really do.
They've been pushing Braun to hell and back, so I think they're going to give that to him, especially with them wanting to put, as rumors say, that they want to push him going into the Netflix era.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I'm going to pick Sami Zayn because look at how his whole career he's been the underdog and never had a chance. He beat Gunther. He got a one-on-one match with Roman Reigns. They beat the Usos, him and Kevin Owens. It just keeps going in that line. So I think Braun will eventually get that IC title, maybe even at SummerSlam. But I'm going with Sami for this match personally myself.
I don't know. I mean, because I don't really see Chad Gable in the picture anymore. It seems like they're trying to steer him in a different direction.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what they do with him, because it wasn't really a good ending to that story, and it looks like maybe he might have a reunion with the Academy, and if they don't have that be a reason that it wasn't a huge turn by Otis on Gable, that whole story will be all for nothing, I think, in the future.
Yeah. Okay, so a little trivia question here. His dad, Rick Steiner, what singles title in either WCW or WWE did he hold?
The U.S. title, wasn't it?
The U.S. title. So I think that would be a good one for him to go for.
Yeah.
And that's
the only time he held singles gold, too.
Yeah. Yep. So that would be kind of a nice throwback, I think, to people that don't keep up with that kind of stuff. So that would be kind of interesting. So the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Who's your pick? Who do you think will win? Who do you want to win?
I have a few different outcomes to this match.
Okay.
I want Jey Uso to win.
Okay.
There could be Drew McIntyre. A lot of people are pushing that Drew McIntyre is going to win it and then cash it in.
Yeah.
I'm on the side of don't even let him win it. Let Punk screw him in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So that way that feud, you didn't just screw me out of a title shot or the title. You two screwed me even out of a title shot. So, which is pretty much a guaranteed title. So, the history of the Money in the Bank briefcase. But I think that could be my sleeper pick CM Punk screwing Drew, Jey Uso winning it, or that LA Knight winning it and then cashing it in on Logan.
Yeah,
as we've seen that teased.
He just pinned him on Friday night, though, so that match should be a lock for SummerSlam with him pinning him.
Yeah.
I think Jey Uso is probably a lock, Jey or Drew to win it. I mean, I think that's pretty much inevitable. I thought it'd be cool for Chad Gable to win it because of the Wyatt storyline going on. I'd like him to get it, pull it down, and open it, and there'd be like a dead bird or something.
That would be epic.
Or every time he goes to cash in, the lights just go black.
Oh, yeah. That'd be beautiful. That'd be such a great ongoing story. And then eventually he gives up and just throws it out and just like, screw it, I'm done.
Yep. He's like, I'm not doing shit with this anymore. Screw it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's inevitable, though. It's Jey or Drew. I mean, I don't see it going any other way.
So my two picks, I already said the Drew. I'm going to stick with my Drew one because for the interference on the matches, I think Punk makes the most sense because I don't think Logan Paul would screw LA Knight, and I really don't see the Wyatt. I could see the Wyatts coming on maybe to screw Chad Gable, but I don't really see it happening. I'm going to go with Drew for my number one pick, but I think the other one, I'm going to go with Chad Gable because we look at everyone else on this card. Andrade makes no sense. Carmelo, it's too soon. Jay might have a bloodline storyline coming. LA Knight's got a match with Logan Paul already locked up, in my opinion. So if we're going to have someone hold the briefcase for a while, I think Chad is the perfect recipient for it.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Yeah.
I hate your logic because it makes sense.
It makes sense, and that's why it hurts.
Just so shit on my prediction. All right, I'm out. No.
Okay, so on the women's end, I think Tiffany will win it, but I want Chelsea to win it.
Well, she is the hometown girl in that match.
I think it's Chelsea's time. She's so over right now. Like, I don't know. I think it's her time. Tiffany's she's still kind of green, could do a little more proving herself, but they really like her. So, or they could just throw a wild card at us and let Lyra win it. But I think it's inevitable that it's going to be Chelsea or Tiffany. Tiffany, I think, is more likely, just a little bit, but Chelsea's my pick.
Yeah, I like Tiffany, but I like you said, I think it's Chelsea's time.
Yeah,
he deserves it.
So I think Tiffany makes the most sense story-wise, seeing she's close to Nia Jax, and I think Nia Jax is taking that title off Bayley regardless. But my dark horse pick for this is Zoe Stark. The company's high on her. I know she doesn't have much of a pop, but she's someone who could carry around the briefcase and hold it for a while. Chelsea, I just think, needs a new gimmick. Lyra's too green, and Io just won it last year. Why would I don't even know why she's in the match. I understand because she could fly, and it's a ladder match, but
that's why.
Yeah,
that's entirely why.
I'm wondering if, with what Chelsea said about the Divas title, if her winning the championship match or the Money in the Bank, is a way for them to incorporate a mid-card title.
Yeah.
If they're going to do a women's mid-card title, they need to start giving more meaningful storylines to the women's division. Because look at how this tag team, women's tag team belts, they are not in the best shape right now. But if you have those bleed over to NXT like you used to, they're very strong. Because I think that's the strongest women's division in pro wrestling right now. Period. The NXT division. So you could have those tag titles be more on NXT than the main shows, but still have a match on there once in a while, and then do a women's mid-card title with storyline around it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's the NXT North American title. They can go cash in on that. It wouldn't make any sense, but I mean, it's not like an NXT cash in hasn't happened before. Becky or Charlotte? Who was it? Charlotte, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Charlotte.
Yeah.
That's my other thing with Tiffany, too. I don't know if we want to make her Money in the Bank. Do we want to turn her into the next Charlotte Flair? She hasn't even been on the main roster a year, and do we always need a belt on her?
I don't know.
That's the one thing I'm scared of.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's gonna get the Charlotte treatment. I mean, I feel like before that social media controversy, like she would have been a lock to win it.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, but since then, I think she's fallen down a peg or two on Triple H's scale of let's push her.
Yeah, definitely. That didn't help her very much. So over to Heatwave, very good looking card. I mean, I think will be the better pay-per-view of the weekend. So who's going to walk out NXT champion?
Sean Spears.
Okay, good. Same.
If he doesn't, then I'm going to be pissed.
Yep.
I'm gonna. This is one I've been throwing around in my head back and forth because I think it's time for a Trick title change, unless you're gonna go back to that story with Metaphor. But who knows? Because Noam Dar isn't even around because there's not really much story there, and its championship run's been sort of like Bailey's so far. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Ethan Page. He's got a lot of heel heat right now. He's been good on the promos so far, but regardless, I think we're gonna see a title change, whether it's him or Sean.
Also, good point. What kind of message would that be to Tony Khan if you want to send a middle finger over, take the guy you underused and make him a champion?
Yeah.
If it's Ethan Page, I hope it leads into a Ethan Page Sean Spears feud.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good. Like, I want full dark Sean Spears. Like, yeah.
Either way, Sean or Ethan winning, I think it'll lead into that feud between the two of them.
I like it. Okay.
If Trick Williams, I don't see where they would go with keeping Trick Williams a champion after this match.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless Moose shows up.
Ooh.
Yeah, but then what are we gonna do? Another champion match? They're not gonna give a TNA guy that NXT belt yet.
Actually, scrap that because Moose tweeted out to Oba Femi. So I think
I would love that match.
I think he would get if they're going to keep up with this cross promotion.
Oba Femi and Moose would be big meaty men slapping meat, like straight up.
That's one hell of a match right there.
It would be the definition.
I think they need to get him to come out during Heatwave during the Oba Femi match.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys while we're still on this. What do you guys think of Javon Evans' promo ability?
Yeah, he needs to grow a little bit. I mean, he's okay for being new, but I still think he's got a little room for growth. I mean, he's a good competitor, great in the ring, but promo wise, just I don't know, he's not there yet.
Yeah, he needs a little work there.
Better than previous ones I've seen, though.
I think for his age, he's good because, like, when you talk to a lot of people that age, they sound the same as him, so it sounds genuine, and I like it in that regard. Like, don't get me wrong, I agree it needs some work, but I was just curious to see what you guys thought of it personally myself.
How old is he?
20.
Dang, he's a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, moving on to the women's match. I mean, I want to see Lola Vice win it. I mean, she's awesome. So I'd love to see her hold a title.
I don't know if they're ready to let Roxanne drop it yet.
I would love to see. Yeah, no, I'd love to see Lola win it, but I think they're gonna keep the belt on Roxanne because eventually we're gonna get that. I think what is it, Great American Bash, the next PLE, I believe it is for NXT.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have Ava versus Roxanne Perez. We're working towards that.
Yeah. Oh, that would be something special. I don't think the match would be that good, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, good storyline, under-delivering match.
I mean, Ava could be doing a lot of training off scene with her pop. Like, we don't know. She could be getting. I mean, oh god, it's gonna be blasphemy, and so many people are gonna get mad, but I'm gonna say it. You know, The Rock was not the best in-ring performer. Sorry, I said it.
No,
I know, I went there, I said it. He wasn't a great technical wrestler or anything. He was fine for the era that he was in. The Rock was great for his promos. But still, even with The Rock's in-ring ability, and don't cancel me again, I'm sorry if that offended anyone, but even with his in-ring ability, if he worked with Ava, he could make her better than just working in the Performance Center, I think.
Yeah.
So there's potential.
Look at Goldberg. You can become a Hall of Famer without not knowing how to wrestle.
Oh, ain't that the truth? Yeah.
Or he became a Hall of Famer without knowing how to wrestle or cut a promo.
Yeah, true.
Hit, yell, spit.
Javon Evans, he can out promo Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg, speaking of, I mean, if you've been watching the Vice things, man, he's pissed off. He does not. The Bret Hart thing and all, he's so mad.
I've never seen anyone as salty as Bret Hart during that, though.
Bret Hart was so salty. I didn't know there was that beef there, I guess.
Yep.
I was fantasy booking in my head, and how about we have seeing it's Bret Hart's birthday, I believe, a day or two. Happy birthday, Bret! How about this for a fantasy booking? We have a last man standing handicap match with Shawn Michaels and Goldberg against Bret Hart with New Jack as a special guest referee.
Jesus.
Won't be any more complaining after that.
Quit. I ain't watching none of that crap.
Do I have to watch it? Is this now or back then? Before
And
they
it'd
were
probably be at Crown Jewel or something. That's where they put on those old guy gimmicks.
Craft Jewel? Is this their abilities back then or now that they're actually handicapped?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Obafemi and Wesley, is Wesley going to get his title back?
No.
No.
I think Moose is going to come out and cost Obafemi the match. He's going to keep the title. And it's going to lead into at either TNA's next pay-per-view or Great American Bash.
Yeah.
Oba versus Moose.
Slammiversary is July 20th, I believe. I don't know. When do you guys know when Bash is scheduled for?
I don't know.
I don't even think they've announced it yet.
Yeah, that's
No.
true. They'll probably announce it this weekend, I'm sure.
Let's see. No, nothing out there yet.
Nope.
Okay, so that would be. So we'll put a pin in that one and see what happens. I think we can all. I would wager that we're all probably going to agree on the next one. Kalani and Sol Ruka. I think they're seeing that people aren't as high on Kalani Jordan as they thought they were going to be, and I really think Sol Ruka is going to go ahead and take the title here. I feel like that's going to happen. Quick title change doesn't happen much in the Papa H era, but I think it'll happen.
I think it will.
I'm gonna go with Kalani just because I don't think they're gonna have her. They don't want their first North American women's champion remembered as a champion who lasted for what, a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe a month. I don't know. Not very long. Okay, that'll be interesting.
Though.
Okay, yeah, I know. I just, that pick still confounds me. I don't know why she won. I'm not saying she's not talented, but just of the pool that was in that match, that was such an odd choice.
Yeah.
I mean, Jada Parker was the one that I was pretty 100% sure was going to win it. I'm really surprised that she didn't. So I don't know. It's very confusing.
Yeah, as much as you said, you don't think that they're gonna have her be a short time champion, but I think with that one, Shawn Michaels pretty much gave her the title because he liked her and to see how the crowd reacted. And now that he sees that nobody's really buying into her as the champion, he has to make that transition now to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see that.
So the tag match, I think, is going to be a good one. I honestly think that's probably going to be one of the matches of the night. I'm going to call it early. Nathan Frazier and Axiom against Chase U. I bet that's going to be a really good match, and I cannot pick a favorite in it. I can see it going either way. Probably Chase U because they've had it for a while, I bet.
I think Chase U is going to win it because as much as they've been pushing them lately, adding Ridge Holland to the mix and all that, I think that they're pushing them to that spot. Just that's just the way I see it.
I think Ridge is going to play a big factor into this, and I think it's going to cost them the match personally because there's still a lot of tension. Even after everything looked all good, we saw the pictures come out of the how he helped him grab the rope in that match, or no, helped him hold him down for the pin in that match. And I think we're going to a feud there. I think whoever Nathan Frazier and Axiom's next opponents will take the belts off them, but not yet.
Okay, interesting thoughts there. And then this next match I think is going to be a really good one as well, with Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace against JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. I have a feeling that's going to be a good one. And probably Petrovic and Grace would be my pick on that one, realistically.
Yeah, they're both Canadian too. They're using them as the tokens for the card, sort of.
Yeah,
token Canadians.
Yeah.
I know you have to look. I mean, you have to look at it. You never know. I mean, it's been hometown favorites. Depending on the reaction they get, you never know what could happen there. So I think it could be interesting. I'd like to see Ariana Grace turn at some point, though. I'm waiting for her meltdown and her heel turn. It's going to be fantastic.
once we get the TNA crossover with Santino having a leadership role over there, that's when we could do a heel turn too. If he has a leadership role leak over into NXT, or we start seeing them featured on TNA TV regularly, that's a golden opportunity right there.
Like, I'd be all in for like an Ariana Grace and an Ash by Elegance feud. I think that would be really cool. I could go all day.
Yeah.
I've already been writing down a dream sheet of stuff that I want to see now that everything's going on. And, another interesting thing is, Joe Hendry has been growing in popularity a lot online. I don't know if you saw his interview he did recently.
My God. At Madison Square Garden and at the TD Garden in Boston, it was... Yeah, I actually saw numerous Joe Hendry signs. So, like, awesome. I was amazed. Like, even my friends, like, that I went with, they only watch WWE. They don't really pay attention to NXT, or they don't even know what TNA is. The whole weekend that they were here, that's like literally all they were singing was Joe Hendry's theme song. Because they got here, they had heard the theme song and were listening to it and all that, and they got here and they were like, "Who's Joe Hendry?" So I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "They know who he is."
Oh my gosh!
One quick question for you guys. Natalia's contract is officially up now. Do we see her making an appearance at either one of these? Probably Heatwave, I'd say. I don't put that money in the bank. Do we have her show up saying she's been re-signed, or we see her going a different route?
I see them waiting for the pay-per-view if they re-signed her and not taking away from the pay-per-view.
I think she's kind of at that legend stage now that, I don't know. I don't feel like they're going to do a lot with her at this point. I think it's time to chill. So
I think they need to re-sign her and let her continue working with the younger guys or younger girls. But unless she's leaking info to Fightful Select, I don't think we see her not go. I don't think we see her going anywhere else.
Yeah.
Dijak is a dumbass.
I was gonna say we can go take wrestling lessons from him now. He's got a gig at the New England Wrestling Academy.
New England, yeah. Where is that at now?
He lives in New Hampshire now, so my guess is it wouldn't be too far from him. It would be my guess, but I don't know that.
It's in North Andover.
North Andover, yeah, that's not far.
Yeah.
From New Hampshire. Yeah.
Also, I mean, I'm curious to see where Ricochet is going to end up.
Oh, that's going to be AEW. No ifs, ands, or buts. I think that him and that Tony Khan will throw any amount of money at him to make Dave Meltzer happy and splooge with 5-star matches against Will Ospreay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think he'll show up at Blood and Guts personally myself to so he has a path to All In.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. I was going to show you it's even my ringtone right now.
Oh my God.
I believe in your ringtone.
Probably a lock for the Royal Rumble, though. Like, I think that one's inevitable. And I bet we'll see Sean Spears at number 10.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Sean Spears will always be at number 10.
Yep, he's locked that spot. As long as he's in the company, that's his spot.
Did you guys notice this too? Because I heard about it and I didn't go back and check it, but was Odyssey Jones one of these security guards when the Wyatts took out two by the announce desk one of these past 2 weeks? I saw online someone said he was. I don't know if it's true or not, though, but I was curious because we haven't seen him on TV for almost 2 years now, I believe.
He's been working a lot of house shows and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't.
I know he was drafted recently.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you guys, because I heard it, I didn't check it, so I didn't know if it was true or not, but I was sort of surprised that they put him in that role if it is.
No, it looks like somebody made a joke on Twitter about it or something, but I'm not seeing anything. Let's see. Yeah, not really seeing anything on that. So, yeah, that would be interesting, though. That's what he gets hired for. That's what they're finally going to use him for.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad that's not true because that would be pretty crazy, I think, personally.
Let's see. Let's check, just out of curiosity. Let's check Cage Match and see. So his dang, he hadn't anything in a while. His last match was March 31st, 2024. Almost defeated Odyssey Jones at a house show in Syracuse, and that was his last match.
Those are two guys. Well, because we haven't seen Omos since the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Let's see. Almost.
We're going to see MVP again.
Yep. That was his last one. MVP ain't coming back. He's talking too much crap.
Okay, after those tweets, I don't think Triple H is too happy with him.
No, he's done.
Probably not.
Yeah,
I know
his
he was
career's
talking
over.
trash about him saying that the bloodline was supposed to be his thing, and
No,
Hurt
I
business,
don't
yeah,
think
right.
so
Yep.
for a second. There's no way that storyline was anywhere near anything related to that. Like, none of the people in the Hurt business were related. Like,
yeah,
that would be like him saying that story works because they're all black. Like, MVP's
Yeah.
a racist.
that was a little. I saw that and I was like, how does that even work?
How do you make that reach?
Yeah. Unless it was supposed to be something else, like not really bloodline, or they weren't really related or something. But there was that kind of, feud going on with a family type thing. But
Yeah.
it fit perfectly with the bloodline. So
And they're building we talk sports and talk dynasties and stuff. Like, they're building a freaking dynasty. Like, man, that bloodline thing's that's gonna go a minute. Because the young bloods are coming in now, and like the older ones are dying out. Like, that's gonna go a minute.
speaking of dynasties, I was dying at the Garden when Seth Rollins pyro went off, and then that explosion, that pop, but it jarred all of the extra confetti loose from the Celtics championship game, and it all started coming down, and the crowd was like going nuts because the yellow or white and green confetti was coming, and then he actually made the reference to it in the ring. That was one of the, outside of like entrances, that was probably the loudest pop of the night, was him bringing up the Celtics.
That's so crazy.
Because he was like, speaking of, yellow, the white and green confetti, you guys also have the NBA champions, and everyone just lost it.
Oh my gosh. Yep, sounds about right. So was how the crowd was pretty solid then at the Garden. It sounded like
the crowd in Boston was a little bit louder than the crowd at Madison.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a smaller venue, so I think that's just how it felt because it's smaller.
Acoustics.
And that it was literally. Have you've been to the Garden, right, Mike?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've seen
It was literally even the very, very, very top was sold out.
Really?
So with that many people in that small arena, screaming, it was hella loud.
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
I can't wait to see what they do in Worcester on the 12th, because that's next Friday.
Yeah. Cody will be there too. You might see that Randy heel turn too, depending on if he doesn't do it at Money in the Bank.
Because it's the next Friday is the fallout of Money in the Bank on SmackDown.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting next week. It looks like. I mean, that's all. I think that's all the main things going on. Unless you guys had anything to add in.
Yeah.
Nothing I can think of.
So we
That's
have a
about it.
SmackDown Friday and then the pay-per-views. So I mean, probably probably Monday. I think would be cool to do a wrap up of the weekend. So I think that'd be pretty good. I'm gonna be watching and excited to see what comes out of it. So I'll plan for us to be back on Monday. Thank you everybody for tuning in. As always, don't forget to follow WWE on Reddit, and of course all our audio listeners, which is again a bulk of our audience. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be back here in a few days to recap the exciting pay-per-view weekend. Take care. Thanks for being here.